Alright, it's time to start thinking about the second air handler, and what I want to do is measure. My reference is the door opening, so I'm going to measure from there to about in line where the gas ports will be. Okay, so I measure that. That's 7 feet, 84 inches straight there, and I'm going to transfer that measurement to the inside. So 84 inches from the edge of the door to the center of the hole, which is that hole, where the pipes will go through. And I'm going to let this template sit here for a little bit and see how I feel about that location. I'm thinking it might be a little bit too far toward the garage door. It is virtually in the center of the garage, but my problem is, one of many of my problems, but my problem is I've got one garage stall, and then the area that I really want to condition or cool is mainly this space here. But I can't. I don't want to run a bunch of lines on the ceiling, and the drain has to run downhill, so really that's the only available spot, or that wall is the only available wall where I can put this one on. So I don't know, I may end up biasing it a little bit more toward the door, just because I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little bit worried that if there's a door that opens, a garage door that opens, obviously that unit is not going to be running full time. I'm going to only condition this space when, you know, in anticipation of needing to use it. You know, when the garage door is up, obviously all the cool air is going to escape. So this is not going to be at 72 degrees, but, you know, 78 would be great. So I don't know, I'm going to let that sit here for a minute and think about if that's the right spot to put it. Okay, part 2. We're installing the second air handler, and I figured out the location on this wall. It's not quite in the center of the wall. I wanted it to bias it a little bit away from the garage door, so it's a little bit closer to this wall here. And a couple things to keep in mind while you're installing these. These are not set for 16-inch on-center studs, so I marked the stud locations here. There's one, and there's another one here. So one hole lines up here. I ended up having to drill this one, and then this is here. So these are metric. I'm guessing this is from Europe somewhere, but whatever. And then using the template that they provide, I drilled this hole, and regrettably my exterior wall in the garage is not insulated, which is probably the minimal code. So now the scary part is drilling through to the outside. So I'm gonna take the insert that goes here, push it in, mark a couple of spots, then we'll drill a pilot hole. Okay, so I marked the circle using this insert, and the instructions want this insert to be running slightly downhill from inside to outside. Okay, so when I drill my hole, I'm going to be drilling my pilot hole not in the center, but maybe like right there. So I'm going to drill the pilot hole, then I'm going to go to the outside and drill with the hole saw. Okay, there's our pilot hole on the outside on the ladder, and we're going to drill in here. So my siding is a cement board, and this is a regular hole saw, so it's having a little bit of a tough time, but let me see if I can do this one-handed and not screw it up. ouch. Let me put this down and I'll come back when the hole is done. Phew, that took a lot of pushing. I'm sure that hole saw is done, but that was scary. That's the inside of my garage. So time to put the insert in, seal it all up, and keep going. Okay, so when you get to this point, you'll notice this, and here's what I think, here's why I think this is a straight line. I think it's supposed to go up, sorry, like this, so that when the slope of the, let me show you what I mean, hold on. I think it's supposed to go like this, so that you can have a flush line here. It's not quite flush here, but I think once the compressor sits here, it'll be fine. But if it was tilted the other way, this rim would be hitting up here and you wouldn't be able to get as close. So now I go on the outside and we take a measurement for how much it sticks out. So this cap will fit on the inside. So I'll mark the wall and cut the pipe in line with the wall, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the hole is sealed, the cap is on the outside, all the gaps are siliconed. Now it's time to hang the air handler, feed the electrical and the pipes through, and make the attachments. And first I gotta move my cedar. Okay, so the unit's hung. I fed everything through. Obviously I was wrong on that little ring. It should face the top. That's why it's cut this way, but honestly I tried it that way and I had a bigger gap, so I'll just cut that off. But generally that's how it goes. I might end up putting a couple of little felt pads under this just to prevent any slight vibration, but this thing is really quiet, at least the upstairs one is, so I doubt that I'll need it out here. Let's go see outside. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to use the same type of line cover, and we'll just have two running side by side from here down. But I do need to bend these 90 degrees. Because of the angle of the siding, this is not really going to stay, so I think I'm just going to drive a single screw on the top and maybe one on the bottom. Okay, so with these line sets, Mr.Cool puts them in this heavy rubber wrapper, which is great for protection, but it takes a lot of room. I'm not going to remove it, but in order for you to fit it into a line set like these, you definitely have to wrap them, and they give you this vinyl tape, but not enough of it, because normally it would probably be enough, but with this big heavy wrapper you end up using most of it in the first 10 feet, which is really all I need. So that's what I'm going to do now, wrap it up. So the tape that they give you is not adhesive, it's just not really adhesive, so it's just vinyl, so you need something just like packing tape to start it off. This is how much one tape roll gets you. About a third of the way. So that should be good because I don't have a very long run on the outside that's going to be vertical. The rest of this is going to be coiled behind the compressor, and then that end is going to get plugged into the compressor just like the other. So let's get to it. All right, time to make the plumbing connections. I wired this up same as before, red, white, black. Just follow the numbers. Now I'll make the connections for the plumbing. Up there coil the hose and then they come down there. Well, it's been a few days, about a week, and this has been running as programmed. So I'm using the app. The app works really well. You can set the on time, the off time, the temperature, and so on. It hooks to your Wi-Fi. The Alexa connectivity, the purported connectivity to Alexa, does not work on either one of my units, which sucks, but it's not that big a deal. So I use the app. So this unit is very capable. So that's the 18K unit. It is very capable of cooling and dehumidifying a 3-car garage that's very poorly insulated. Actually, these walls are not insulated at all. During the sun time, in fact, if you lean your hand against the drywall during the heat of the day, the drywall gets quite warm. That's another project. The ceiling is insulated. The garage doors are insulated, but the load, the sun load on the wall is not insulated. Anyway, so 77 degrees, that's what it's set to. And I'm just walking over here to show you. We are at 75 degrees and 57% humidity. It's 6:30 in the morning, and I have it come on at 4:50 just before I start my workout. So previously it was around 82 degrees and 63% humidity in the morning. So if I leave it on for very long, it cools it off and dries it out. So very happy with this so far. I need to do a little bit of line management. The lines are, you know, they get coiled up, and you have to deal with that and figure out where to put it. But overall, so far, a week in, I'm very happy. Okay, as far as the line covers are concerned, I bought this on Amazon. I bought 2 kits. Came with a bunch of lines. They look like clamshells. So here's the part that goes in the back of the, kind of against the wall. And then this portion snaps into this little channel. They come with these unions like this. One gets mounted on the wall, and then that's supposed to hide the transition. So that all works pretty well, except the number one, they're not painted. It's just plastic. So I used this stuff as the primer. Scuff it up first with some like a Scotch Brite pad, like one of these. Scuff it up, clean it up, prime it pretty well, and then I just use the same exterior paint that's on my house. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to paint the plastic if you want it to match. So I'll show you what that looks like. The difficulty is that once these are, let me show you. There's not a whole lot of room inside of these, right? Hold on. That's about all the room you get. And so honestly, the most difficult part of this whole project was fitting the lines or closing this clamshell on the lines. But let me show you the finished product. And here we are. Painted that the same way. All that's been painted, and I dare say it looks pretty good. Looks like 2 downspouts. Lots of extra line back here, but there's really nothing I can do about that. Like I said, the biggest challenge was fitting that one, getting it to snap closed. But after a lot of swearing and pushing and restarts, I finally got it. So that's that. The app that this works with works pretty well. The connectivity to Alexa does not work. but I don't really care anymore. I'm just happy it works and it looks pretty decent. So that's it. I'll be back in about 6 months, let you know how it works, but 2 weeks in and I'm pretty happy.